Yeah, I think you might be on mute there, sir.
There we go. We are back here with you. And give me a second here. For some reason, it looks like our... I don't know.
It reverted. It reverted.
For some reason, our picks look like they reverted back. So give me a second here while we go through this. I don't know why this is going and doing what it is, but we're going to go through Scotty and do this one more time. So bear with us here. What are your thoughts so far on this, first half of the bracket, what you picked, what you think is going to happen, while I kind of get this reset here?
Yeah, I feel like I went pretty crazy and pretty bold on this side of the bracket. We'll see what I decide to do on the other side if I go a little more chalky. But, I have a 12-13 matchup where a 13 makes the Sweet 16. I have an 8 in the Final Four. I went pretty wild, pretty bold with some of these picks. I have a 7 beating a 2. So I took a lot of bold stances. We'll see how that works out. I think, I talked about you probably went a little more chalky, which is fine. Just not as fun, But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know taking LSU to go to the Final Four is a pretty wild pick, but I think this is the year where maybe chalk isn't a great avenue because all these teams have faced a lot of different circumstances this year with the COVID stuff. And it's also going to be super interesting. Normally during the tournament, you play your 2 games the first weekend, you go back home and you travel to the next spot later on. No, they're locked in this bubble, these college kids, where they can't really leave the floor of their hotel outside of playing their games. All their food's delivered to them. This is going to be grueling and difficult for these college age kids who aren't going to be able to handle. That's going to be hard for them to handle just being locked up in their room. They don't have a roommate. They have a room to themselves. They're going to be isolated to get this tournament in. So that's going to be an effect we didn't talk about. That's going to be definitely different than any tournament that we've had before. Obviously, all these games are going on in Indianapolis. So these teams are going to be there for several weeks if you're making the Final Four, a couple weeks plus. They flew out. Most of them flew out early part of this week. So that's a long time to be isolated in your room outside of playing your games and practices and things like that. So we'll see how these kids handle it. Obviously, it was difficult for people in the bubble in the NBA last year in their playoffs, and the NHL had a similar thing. But they made it through, but they're also, grown adults. These are her college-age kids, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's not an easy thing for them to handle. So this is a year where everything could get turned upside down, and it wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, who had that dominant team in Gonzaga, but even if they lost, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me because even the best teams lose games. So we'll see how they handle it. But they also haven't, the problem with Gonzaga, and I think less so this year because they're just so good, but the fact that they don't play the type of teams that sometimes, present the problems that they can face in the tournament during their conference play in the West Coast Conference. They're just not a great conference. So they kind of roll and get comfortable with maybe some bad habits along the way, things that work against lesser teams, but may not work against these tournament teams and these better teams as you go along. So we'll see. They've actually played really well in the tournament in the past 4 or 5 years. So that hasn't really cost them, but they still don't have that natty. So this is the year. I feel like there's a ton of pressure on them to keep that undefeated season and win the national championship. So that's going to be hard for them to hold on to too, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no. And I think that's valid. I think there's a lot of people that think, they come from a small WCC, conference. What can they do? And I think that this is a team that really has a chance. But You never know, man. A lot of things can happen. But let's go ahead and let's get started here in this other side of the bracket. We have the other half to cover here. We'll try to get through this. We're in overtime now with you guys, so thank you for staying with us. We want to get through the rest of this, so we'll kind of cruise through this pretty quickly. But we want to get you all our picks so we can get you updated on where we're at with things and what we're doing here. So, all right, fire off. Scotty, where do you think in this matchup? Let's keep it quick. And who you got?
Baylor.
I am with you.
Quick enough? I'm not gonna do any analysis there. Baylor takes this one.
I think we're both on the same page there. We'll both take Baylor. Now, as far as this goes, this is going to be an interesting matchup here. Obviously, Wisconsin and North Carolina are going to be an interesting matchup. I think for me, I'm going to lean North Carolina. They've been the hotter team down the stretch of the course of the season. I'm going to lean towards a team that's in a good rhythm, whereas Wisconsin has kind of been up and down, and you don't really know what you're getting with a Wisconsin team. So I'm going to go with North Carolina on this one.
This one's a toss-up to me. I could see this going. I think the line on this is about 1.5 towards North Carolina as the favorite. But is Wisconsin more battle-tested, being from that Big Ten? They don't win a ton of games in that Big Ten. I mean, their record wasn't great this year, but they have a lot of Micah Potter. I'm sorry, is a really good weapon for them. He's their best player. They got guys. The thing that scares me with North Carolina is they get the boards on the offensive side better than anyone in the country, 41% of the time. So I'm going to take Carolina here too.
Okay, I like it. North Carolina locked in. All right, so we got Villanova Winthrop. Go ahead, kick us off and let us know. This is a 12-5 matchup, so this is on the radar for, okay, what do we think is going to happen here? Is Winthrop going to be that 12 upset?
It is. I'm taking Winthrop here. Villanova, since they lost Colin Gillespie, lost their last 2 games. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but he was such an integral piece to that team. They still have Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, who's one of the top players in the Big East and up for Player of the Year. A local boy out of Kansas that Kansas let get away. Well,
there you go.
They wanted him, but he decided he didn't want to go that route. But Jermaine Samuels for Winthrop's a really good player. Justin Moore. I just think in a game where this is, I'm going to take the risky pick again. I'm going to do it again. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. P-Nix in the chat, stop stealing my pick, Scott. I have Winthrop. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for you. We'll find out. But I like where your head's at. I'm taking Winthrop here in an upset.
Yeah, I think Winthrop it's definitely on my radar for upsets as well. The one loss the Eagles play, Eagles play at a fast pace, but they still own most of the efficient offense and defense in the Big South. Their top scorers this season belong to the tournament's all-name squad, but reserves, Adam Arms, 10 points per game as a reserve. Chandler Vaudrin, 12 points per game, 7 rebounds. I mean, I just think overall, Winthrop is a little deeper. I think that they can outlast a Villanova Wildcat team. Colin Gillespie, obviously, what can you say? But as far as that goes, I would say I'm with you here. I agree. I think Winthrop is going to be one of those 12-5 matchups. I only have one 12-5 upset on this bracket, and this is it. You have to have one, and this is mine. So, as far as P-Nix goes, I'm with you too. I'm with Scott. We're hitting Winthrop here. I think this is going to be hopefully a Winthrop victory. So let's go on. We'll both knock those out of the park here. All right, Purdue. Purdue is a sneaky team. Now, Purdue is one of those teams that I don't think necessarily get a lot of credit. They don't really it's a 4 seed. As far as their top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency in the Big Ten. So the Boilermakers also finished 4th ahead of Ohio State and Wisconsin in the Big Ten standings with 13-6 record. Few teams in America can match Purdue's front court with 6'10", the size. 6'10", Trevin Williams, Zach Edley in the paint. They're just solid. It's unclear if Boilermakers can hang with some of the top tier teams in America. They lost to Illinois and Michigan and Iowa by 40 points combined, so that's kind of their knock against them. But their 6-1 finish in the regular season suggests they are improving, and I think that this is going to be that momentum that they're going to be carrying into this. And I think that this is going to be a game where they can beat a Texas team that isn't exactly as talented. So I'm going to go Purdue in this matchup.
Yeah, Ken Palm likes Purdue a lot. He has them 13th overall compared to North Texas, 71st. Some of that's matchups and how it's hard, but North Texas was like 13-9, and it lost 3 straight before winning their conference tournament and rolling in games where they're a really good defensive team, but the other teams just shot terribly from the field. So I don't think they can rely on that. You talked about Purdue's size. Purdue's the biggest team in the country, probably. Their size is tough to match up. They have a guy off the bench that's 7'4", who's a freshman. Like, it's just insane. So I think Purdue is going to be a tough matchup for him. I think Purdue takes this game.
All right, there we go. Lock it in. Purdue. Both like Purdue. Texas Tech and Utah State. Go ahead, kick us off.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas Tech because Patrick Mahomes is an alum.
Oh, there we go. You got to hit that Patrick
Mahomes in there. Needed to get Mahomes in there. I'll drink to that. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. That's why we got the green background. Let's go.
But in all honesty, I think Utah State's pretty limited offensively. Texas Tech's more athletic. Should be able to take this one. I feel pretty comfortably. Usually 6-11s, I think, are pretty tight games. I think Beard is one of the best coaches in the country for Texas Tech. They, in the last tournament, rode all the way to the national championship game and barely lost to a Virginia team. So I think he has the experience to take him in this tournament, and I expect them to beat a Utah State squad that, was probably out until they beat Colorado State and then got in. So I'll take Texas Tech here.
All right. I'm not going to waste any time. Texas Tech's going to win this game. We're going to go ahead and pick them right off the bat, get it going. Texas Tech, I think it's an easy matchup for them. Utah State, they're great. They've made a nice little run for themselves, but it ends in the first round. So let's go ahead, knock that out, and let's get to the next round. Arkansas and Colgate. So this is going to be a fireworks. This is going to be one of those ones where you're going to keep your eye on, and it's going to be, I think, one of the more entertaining games of the first round. So, as far as the Razorbacks go, they had a 31-point road loss to Alabama January 16th. Obviously, Moses Moody, 17 points, 5.8 rebounds, 38% from the three-point line. Projected lottery pick in the NBA draft. Has 58% of his assisted spot-up attempts. He hits all of those. Arkansas has made 53% of his shots from with Moody on the floor in this season. He's kind of like their go-to guy, and this is going to be a fast-paced up and down. Colgate and at Arkansas, you want to take the over in the game? Take the over in this game. I don't know what it's going to be set at. It might be already out there, but take it. Which makes me think that Colgate has a chance in this game. There's a lot of extras picking Colgate. I think Arkansas is going to outlast them. I'm going to lean towards Arkansas in this game. I'm going to take Arkansas.
I'll keep this one short. You talked a lot about Arkansas. This is a 3-4 team matchup. Tough to pick against Arkansas, and I will take them to win here as well.
All right, there we go. Quick and easy. All right, go ahead. Lead us off. We got Florida, and we got Va Tech. Who you got? Who you like?
I was back and forth on this one. 7-10 matchup. It's a tough one. I want to lean Virginia Tech simply because I think they're probably slightly, Florida's been super inconsistent. The problem with Virginia Tech is they've played, I think 3 games since February 6th. They had some COVID postponed, canceled issues. They had 5 games, and then they unfortunately lost in the first round to North Carolina in the ACC tournament. So they just haven't played a ton of games. That makes me pretty nervous. But at the same time, I'm just gonna hope that the better team, in my opinion, prevails here. And in a very, very tight game that I could go either way with, I'm gonna take Virginia Tech.
I have Virginia Tech as well. So Virginia Tech, as far as they go, finishing 9-4 in league play. They beat Villanova, before the season ended during the regular season. 52% of its shots inside the arc, they've hit those. Kev Aluma, 15 points per game, 8.0 rebounds, 1.4 blocks per game on the floor. I think that they're just going to be too much for a Florida Gator team that is going to – this is a coin flip for me too. I was going back and forth. I had Florida initially, then I looked into it a little bit more, and I was like, it's hard to go against Virginia Tech. So I'm going to go ahead and click Virginia Tech to make it past this round. We both have – I mean, that's 7-10. Who knows? But I think –
Not sure. I think Virginia Tech might actually be favored.
I like to look. Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll see. So Virginia Tech, moving on for both of us. All right. Now, I'm going to start out with this one. Ohio State, I'm not going to waste time, is going to win this game. We were talking about this earlier with Mayday in the chat. I don't think when we're talking about number one over, or wait, let's see. Two overall seeds. I'm sorry. Upset. Any upsets? We were talking about upsets a lot earlier, but I don't think Ohio State's going to get upset in this one. Oral Roberts isn't going to compete with Ohio State. I'm just going to make this quick. Ohio State's going to win this game.
I'm on board. I like Ohio State.
Don't waste time. Let's go. All right. Next matchup. I don't think we need to waste too much time on this one either. Go ahead. Lead us off. Illini. By the way, that logo is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, I've never seen that one before. There's a few logos, like Texas logo with the UT they had earlier. I've never seen that logo before.
yeah. There's some strange ones. Let's go past Illini because those are going to be guarantees. All right. Is it my turn or your turn for this Loyola Georgia Tech?
It's you.
All right. Deb in chat. As to your bet, the loser has dinner delivered once a week to the winner. Winner's choice for a month. Ooh. Interesting. Okay.
I kind of like that.
All right. Well, hey, let's think about that a little bit. I don't hate that.
Yep.
Once a week to the winner's choice for a month. So if that's like Chipotle or whatever it is, like
if you win you can pick Chipotle. If I win I might go a little classier. I don't know,
you might go Shanahan's, something along those lines.
Shanahan's only have burnt steaks, just like Shanahan was on the side.
All right, so is this my turn to go into this one? I really like Loyola in this one. Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, she's 101 now, by the way. 101.
She's still going?
She's still going strong. And I think so is Loyola Chicago. I think they're going to be a team that can be really impactful here. Honestly, I think they're going to be in a good place to win this. Now, Sister Jean is back. In 2018, the Ramblers made the run to the Final Four, putting the entire school on the national radar, right? In 2020, 2021 is an equally capable sleeper in the field. Cameron Kurtwig, freshman standout, Final Four team, has played like an All-American, averaging 15 points, 6.7 rebounds, 3 assists per game, 1 block, 1 steal per game. The Ramblers boast the most efficient defense in the country, and they've made 58% of their shots inside the arc. So they have a really good chance to beat a Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets team that I don't think really showed up very well in their tournament. the momentum from the Ramblers. Sister Jean's gonna get it going. I think I got Loyola Chicago to win this game. So let's go, Loyola Chicago. You want to agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree on one metric and one metric only. Ken Palm has Loyola Chicago as the #1 defensive efficiency team in the country. Tough to pick against that in a first-round matchup. So Georgia Tech had a great run. Obviously, won the ACC tournament, playing pretty good ball, but they also lost early on to some mid-majors that aren't even as good as Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago, when they had their chance to play the big boys, did weird thing about Ken Palm. Like, they lost at Wisconsin by 14, and they didn't really play outside of Drake, who they went 2-1 with a loss by 1 point at Drake. But both games were the 2 regular season were at Drake. So I like Loyola Chicago here. I think defense plays in the tournament. I think they'll be able to lock down Georgia Tech and frustrate them and move on to an interesting game against their big brother in Illinois in that second round.
By the way, that bet from Deb was it can't be fast food. So that means...
What if I want you to wait in the in and out line here? Can that work? Only because I want you to have to wait.
I mean, it's a winner's choice. So if you want to go, one fast food for, In and Out, which, by the way, for all you people who are watching in chat, In and Out just opened in Colorado, so that's kind of a new big thing. So we're not used to that. Sorry. All right. So as far as this goes, we have Tennessee and Oregon State. Are you leading this one off, or is this me?
I think it's me.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm, this is the SEC, so I think I know who you're taking. You love your SEC. But
I love my SEC.
I'm taking Tennessee as well. I've already taken, I think, a couple 12 seeds, and the other one I didn't was that Colorado Georgetown game, which I was conflicted on. But, to me, Tennessee is just a really, really good team that's more tested. I know Oregon State won the conference Pac-12 tournament, but before that, Oregon State wasn't a tournament team. They kind of relied on that, just teams playing down to Oregon State's level. I don't know if it was because they thought they could roll through Oregon State, but none of the teams that Oregon State faced played very well, especially offensively. You could say that was Oregon State's defense, but I'm not sure it was. I think Tennessee wins this game.
I'm with you. I'm a big... If you know me, you've heard me talk about the SEC to, I don't know why the SEC is so good this year, but they are. And Tennessee is no exception. I have Tennessee winning this game. Oregon State played Colorado, and they didn't look very good. Not that I think Colorado was bad, but Colorado isn't great either. They're kind of middle of the road, and the fact that Oregon State struggled against Colorado to win that game, I don't know. I just don't think they have what it takes to beat Tennessee. So I'm going to take Tennessee. We're going to lock that in and get it rolling on to the next round. So now we have Oklahoma State here. I don't think I have an issue taking Oklahoma State in this matchup. I think Oklahoma State is definitely the cream of the crop when it comes to these two teams. So I'm going to, kind of save some time here. We're going to click Oklahoma State to win this game. I don't think, even though there are some people out there that think Oklahoma State could be subject to an upset. I mean, the Liberty Flames, 15-1 in their last 16 games. Strong run for them. But I just don't think they can hang with an Oklahoma State Cowboys team. Cade Cunningham, 19.6 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 41% from three-point line. Man, he's a one-man show. He absolutely crushes. All of the, as far as that goes, I don't know. It's hard to pick against Oklahoma State. I will just stop talking. I'll go with Oklahoma State.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for Oklahoma State, I think. I like Oklahoma State a lot, but Liberty's a really good 13 seed. They have, the player of the year and Darius McGee, who hit over 83s in the season on 40% shooting from three. They have also Elijah Kofi, the defensive player of the year in the Atlantic Sun Conference. So they have not only the player of the year, but the defensive player of the year on a team that pretty much dominated that conference. Oklahoma State has a guy who right now is probably the odds-on favorite to be the number one pick in the draft in Cade Cunningham. He's a freshman that's just been balled out. Really, he's composed. He's not a freshman where he's not a guy where if he doesn't shoot in the first 5 minutes of the game, he's going to start forcing his shots like a lot of elite players like him would do. He waits for his time, plays within the system. He's led that team, and they obviously played really well down the stretch. Beat Baylor, beat West Virginia twice down the stretch. Lost a close one to Texas in the Big 12 tournament, but they had to play 2 more games in that than Texas did, since Texas got a bye and then got the bye against Kansas due to the COVID stuff. So I think if they were both rested in the same amount, Oklahoma State might have won that game. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Cowboys. By the way, if you're in the chat and you're watching, hit that follow button. Make sure you guys get filled in anytime we're going live. We love doing this with you guys and seeing those familiar faces who are following us, who are just watching us all the time. So hit that follow button. We really appreciate it. So, all right, we got the Cowboys in the books for both of us. All right, now San Diego State and Syracuse. We got the orange here. Now, go ahead, lead us off here. Who do you think has the edge in this matchup?
I've gone back and forth on this one. I think on Sunday I talked about how Syracuse is really good in the tournament because they face teams that just have never played anything like the zone that Syracuse plays on defense. But Syracuse has been crazy unsuccessful against teams that are good this year. I think teams that are in quadrant 1 or 2 or whatever that is, or tournament teams, I think they've won 1 game, and that was a 2-point win over North Carolina. Otherwise, they have not beat a tournament team all season. That scares me a little bit. San Diego State's been pretty consistent throughout, played pretty well offensively and defensively. Clearly the best team in that Mountain West Conference. I thought for sure I was going to take Syracuse in this. I'm taking San Diego State.
We got Area Nair 19. Scream AAA and all donate $10. Hey! Let's go. There we go. Hey, if that's what you wanted us to scream, hey, we got you. Hey, there we go. Hey, Arian, thanks for popping in and chatting with us. I appreciate it. Thanks you so much for the support. Oh, just joking, you bro. Come on, man. Let's go. Why you gotta be debating us like that? Come on, man. Hey,
I'm taking back at least one of those A's.
I'm taking back at least 2 of my A's. But hey, Arian, appreciate the just chiming in. Love that you're here. Thank you so much. So your final pick was who?
San Diego State.
San Diego State. I have San Diego State myself. I think San Diego State's going to be, a little bit of stronger of a team. Syracuse feel like they kind of inched their way in the back door. Didn't feel strong. And I just think, San Diego State was just one of those teams that just was strong all season long. So I'm going to go ahead and pick against the Qs here. So go ahead. Let's lock those in. San Diego State. Boom. And I got you here for my picks. Arian, who do you like in the tournament? I want to hear what you got to say. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have anybody that you're rooting for? Let me know. All right, so we got West Virginia and we got MSU, not Michigan State. Now, in this one, is this my turn to go first?
It is.
All right, so I'm going to save some time here. I'm not going to go against West Virginia. I think West Virginia is the well-coached team. I think they're the overall better team in this matchup. I'm just going to go and just say West Virginia. They're going to take this opening round.
Yeah, Morehead State's actually won 19 of their last 20 games, so they're coming in hot, but their competition's pretty low. They went 4-6 to start. They lost, to Kentucky, Richmond, Ohio State, and Clemson. Only one of those teams is actually a tournament team, even though you look at those names and think, oh, that's a pretty good squad. So their defense is really good, but West Virginia, ironically, is normally known for their defense. They're actually better from the offensive end this year, which is unusual for them. Bob Huggins is experienced. West Virginia all day here.
West Virginia, let's go. Arian, I'm still waiting for your pick. If you're not going to donate $10, then I want your picks for the who's going to win it all. How about that? That's the give and take. That's what you get for debating us here.
And if he's wrong, he owes us $10.
And then if you're wrong, yeah, then we'll take the $10 donation. Thank you so much, Arian. Appreciate it. But I want to. If it's not Gonzaga, I don't know what I'm going to say here. All right, here's an interesting one. We got Rutgers and Clemson. Clemson, this is a weird logo, by the way, with the purple and the orange. I've never seen orange and purple together with Clemson, but, it's just one of those things.
Seriously? That's like their colors.
Yeah, I've never seen the background with them. Maybe I haven't seen a lot of their logos over time. But in this game, I'm going to see that this was a tough one for me. I honestly think that Clemson is going to have the edge in this one. Now, I don't feel great about it. Like, this is one of those ones where I'm just like, it's a coin flip. I could see Clemson losing this game just outright. But as far as this goes, it's tough for me. I'm going to go with Clemson and lock that in. As far as that goes, Miami sent the Tigers home in the opening round of the ACC tournament. But they have non-conference wins over Purdue, Maryland, Alabama. I don't know. There's something there that I kind of like that I just think is a little bit better than what I see with Rutgers. Rutgers, I don't know. They're a roller coaster, man. They're up and down. You never know what you're getting. Team started 7-1, including wins over Purdue, Syracuse, Maryland, Illinois, which are big, big wins. Then the Knights lost 5 in a row. 5 in a row. Before finishing the regular season with, 3-4 tally in the last 7 games in the Big Ten tournament. 31.4% clip from the 3-point line. I don't know. I'm leaning Clemson in this one. Rutgers is a weird one for me. I just don't know what I'm getting with them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Clemson.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. Both teams I feel like are actually not playing well coming into the tournament. I think Clemson over the last 13 is like 7-6, and I think it's a pretty similar record. Rutgers played in the Big Ten, obviously tough competition. Got blown out by Illinois in the second round of the Big Ten tournament after beating Indiana, who already fired their coach in the first round. They squeaked some out. They lost to a Nebraska team, a Maryland team, and a Michigan team in some close games, but they haven't been playing great. This one's a tough one for me. I don't love either team, honestly, in this game. I don't think either. I wish they were matching up with other opponents, and I would pick against both of these teams. But in this instance, I'm taking Rutgers. I'm going to take the more battle-tested team. I'm going to take the team that has Ron Harper Jr. He played with Jordan in the Bulls, so I got a little love there. Loved my Bulls back in the day. Loved some Ron Harper. And they got length. They got some guards in Geo Baker and Jacob Young that can really score. So I'm gonna in a game that's gonna be super tight, and I don't know. I'm gonna take Rutgers.
Okay, all right. I like that. All right, now I'm not. Oh, actually, this is you. Go ahead. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, Houston. Let's not waste time. Houston.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
We're running over by quite a bit, so I'm taking Houston.
Houston, let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna click Houston as well because Houston's by far the superior team here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start out with this one. where I'm shaky on North Carolina in the first round, which means I'm going to be even more shaky in the second round, which means why you can't not take Baylor here. I understand Baylor's had some issues, but they're not going to struggle here. They're a better team. They shoot better. They're more consistent. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Baylor. Lock it in.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baylor as well. I'm just going to trust. I mean, Baylor, before all their COVID and state of Texas issues, was kind of neck and neck, like with Gonzaga, as far as, you know, how they were playing, as far as being the best team in the country. Coming back from that, they lost a couple games after being undefeated to Kansas and Oklahoma State. Did beat a West Virginia team in overtime in a good game, but I'm going to trust that Baylor puts the pieces back together, and they're too talented and too good to not do it, so I'm taking Baylor.
Perfect. Go ahead. Lead us off here in the Purdue Winthrop. We both have the same matchup. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm taking Purdue here. I almost took Purdue to lose in their first round game against North Texas, but decided against it. But I think Purdue's length, Purdue's size, as we talked about, is going to be too much for Winthrop, just like it was for North Texas. Ken Palm loves Purdue. I don't know if I like him as much as that. Don't love their guard play quite as much as their size, but I'll take them to win against a Winthrop team that just is overmatched.
Love it. Yeah, I also have Purdue beating Winthrop. I thought Winthrop was good for the first round. I don't think they're strong enough to beat Purdue in the second round. I think Purdue is just bigger, stronger, more athletic. They hit more shots. I think they're going to be the better team to pick in this matchup. Winthrop runs out of gas in the second round, loses to Purdue. I got Purdue as well. All right, Arkansas and TT, we both have these matchups. This could go either way. I was battling back and forth with this one. I erased this one on my bracket 2 or 3 times before I locked it in. And I locked in, what's my theme of this year of loving who?
SEC,
and that's Arkansas. I leaned slightly. I had Texas Tech for the longest time penciled into my bracket, and I just last minute erased it and went Arkansas. I'm gonna go Arkansas in this matchup.
Yeah, this one's a coin flip for me, and since you went Arkansas and I'm a Big 12 guy with Kansas, I'll take Texas Tech. I'll take Beard. I think he'll outcoach him. Arkansas hasn't been good really in a long time. I think this moment might be too much for him, where Texas Tech has been there. They got some elite talent. He's been recruiting really well for him, and I'll take Tech.
Tech. Okay, we have a little bit of a distinguishing.
Just you going chalk and me picking an upset again. It's
hey, chalk makes you money in this NCAA tournament. There we go. All right. We both have the same matchup here. Vatek, Ohio State. You go first. I already know what I'm taking in this matchup, but go ahead and pick who you got.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State. Virginia Tech, you know, borderline gets a win in the first round, but I like Ohio State here. They played obviously well down the stretch and lost a tough overtime game to Illinois in the Big Ten championship, but beat Michigan, playing well down the stretch. I wonder how, and I like the Big Ten. It's going to be really interesting, like I said on Sunday, to see how well this Big Ten conference really is, based off of everyone's just beating everyone and they're assuming everyone's good. What if everyone's just terrible? And they won't be terrible. Well, what if they're not that good?
I don't know.
The conference is just not that good. They could happen. But anyway, I'm taking Ohio State.
I got Ohio State too. Vatek is good. They're going to make it out of the first round. They're not going to make it out of the second. Ohio State's going to crush them. I think this is just an outmatched matchup here. Anders joining in on the Facebook chat. We already picked Gonzaga to win it all on the other side. So let us know in the Facebook chat if you agree. Anders, thanks for popping into the Facebook chat. All right, so we got the Illini, and we got Sister Jean Is that the mascot of Loyola?
I think so.
Anders,
Yeah.
is
I hope
Zag
that's
up,
not a
baby.
picture.
Anders in Facebook chat, Zag up, baby. Let's go. Go Zags. As you can tell, I'm representing for you, Anders, and all of our other Zag Nation. But do you have Loyola upsetting Illinois in this matchup?
I do not. No, I think actually this will be a good game. I think Loyola, like we talked about, is the number one defensive team in the country. They'll give them problems, but Illinois is playing really, really well. I mean, they've lost, I think they've won like 13 of their last 14, and obviously playing in the Big Ten, that's not an easy thing to do. Beating Ohio State, Iowa, Ohio State twice in that stretch, Michigan.
Yeah.
Their one loss in that stretch was at Michigan State in the game where Michigan State showed up for whatever reason. But otherwise, they've been killing it. A couple of their losses this year are by 3. I think their worst loss was by that 9 points to Michigan State. So they've never lost by double digits. I'm taking Illinois.
I'm taking Illinois too. The Illini are unbelievable. I think they're on the hottest streak of any team. Any of the big major teams coming into the tournament, they're looking really, really good. So I can't pick against them. Sorry, Sister Jean. I know you're 101 years old. You're going to be 102 picking these brackets before we can pick them to beat Illinois here. So, Illinois. Boom. All right, here we go. We're getting into the nitty-gritty here. Still into the second round, Tennessee and OSU. Now, for me, this was one of the tougher matchups. I had such a hard time picking this matchup.
What's your theme?
My theme is SEC. I do have it on my bracket right here. SEC. Tennessee beating Oklahoma State.
Yep.
I do have the Tennessee. I had this back and forth as well, but I do have Tennessee beating Oklahoma State in this game. Tennessee advancing. Something about Tennessee I think they are really strong, and I think they are a tournament, not a sleeper because they're a higher ranked team in this tournament, but the Tennessee Volunteers, they have reliable guard play, length, athleticism in the post, and a seasoned coach, Rick Barnes. Since that 10-1 start, 4-1 in the SEC, they've had good outings overall. The Vols went 8-7 in their final 15, which is like not ideal, but the Vols lost to Alabama in the SEC tournament semifinals, starting 15-point lead. I don't know. It's hard to assess Tennessee, but they have some potential there, and I think they have that like weird wild card that I don't know how to explain by any means. I don't know. Omar Payne, he's solid. Freshman Keon Johnson is fun to watch. He's made 58% of his shots from the rim, at the rim, I should say. I don't know. Vols are also led the SEC in defensive turnover rate. So, I don't know. They're just a weird team. There's a wild card there. I got to pick Tennessee. I got to go Tennessee.
It sounds like you talked to yourself like long enough into picking Tennessee. In this
I'm going Tennessee.
Talking like you're like, I'm just going to stick with the SEC for and one of the most ironic things you said there was, I think you basically said Rick Barnes as a coach was a positive. Guess what Rick Barnes' record at Tennessee and Texas is in March Madness when he plays a team with a better seed than him? Just throw out a number.
I'm not even gonna guess. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me.
He's 1-11. 1-11 against teams with a better seed. So guess what happens here? He's facing a 4 seed in Oklahoma State. He's a 5. You have the best player by far on the court in Cunningham, once again for Oklahoma State. They've played better down the stretch. Tennessee's been so inconsistent. I just can't trust them. I think Oklahoma State will be calm and composed. I think Oklahoma State takes this down. I'm taking the Big 12 again. You keep taking your SEC. I'll take my Big 12.
All right. Anders in the Facebook chat. Tough call Cade Cunningham is a difference maker. Is a difference maker. And I'm not I don't disagree. I mean, Ohio State, this was literally a coin flip for me. I could have gone either way. I had Ohio State for the longest time, and I ended up going Tennessee. So that's what I locked in.
You liked Rick Barnes too much. He's just such a good coach.
I'm gonna lock you in with OSU. And we're just gonna move on. All right, we have the same matchup here. Anders, keep it coming. I love it. All the chat and the Facebook side of things. Keep it rolling. So we have San Diego State and West Virginia. Go ahead, lead me off in this one. What do you think in this matchup?
Man, this one's tough. I like San Diego State, but I think they're going to have a hard time in their first round game against Syracuse. West Virginia will roll. I think it's just a much smarter pick here. Mountaineers shoot and rebound at a really good clip. That should play really well against that zone defense. If you can offensive rebound and shoot, those are the two things that can play against if Syracuse is there. If it's San Diego State, I think they're just more talented, and San Diego State has the end of the road. They're limited offensively. San Diego State is, and can't quite hang with a team that I talked about being better offensively than they've been in a long time. Although they're not quite the defensive team they've normally been known for, where they like to trap and get aggressive and do full court stuff. So I'll take West Virginia here.
Yeah, I lean West Virginia as well in this one. This is where I come in, and Anders in the Facebook chat, this isn't a typical Bobby Huggins team. Not quite as physical as past teams. Yeah, I 100% agree, which is why this was such a tough pick for me. And I went back and forth on this one as well. This was like not an easy pick once I got to this round. I thought this corner of the bracket would be easier to pick, and it's not the case. So, when it comes to this, I ended up leaning towards more of a Bob Huggins team, even though, again, as Anders mentioned, they're not as physical. For some reason, the Mountaineers just seem to be a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit stronger in here. They led the league in free throw rate, 71% in the Big 12. Overall offensive efficiency, second place. Derek Culver, 14 points, 9.8 rebounds. Miles McBride, 15.4 points. I just think from that standpoint, I don't know. For some reason, I just think that they just have a little bit of an edge. Not it's a huge edge, but I'm going to lean towards West Virginia. So I'm going to go that route. I got West Virginia on my bracket. I don't feel great about it. San Diego State's a scary team. So, but I'm going to lean West Virginia. So it sounds like we both got West Virginia on this one.
We do.
All right. So lock them in. Okay, let's lock them in. There we go. All right, so I have a different matchup here than you do. I have Clemson, UH, and you have Rutgers, and you have UH as well. So, from this standpoint, are you rolling first on this one, or is this me heading us off?
I believe this is you.
All right, so I have in this matchup Houston. I think Houston overall is the better team in this stretch. Now, Houston is, a really solid team. Houston obviously is number 6 overall in KenPom. I think they're one of the best teams in the country. I don't see them getting upset by a Rutgers team. Rutgers 34th overall KenPom overall ranking, which KenPom obviously is just the how many games are played, and there's a lot of analytics dove in whatever for this. But I just think that the better team here is going to be Houston. They're going to move on to the next round, and I think it shouldn't be too big of a challenge for them.
I think Houston versus Rutgers is going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it's going to be a game that goes down to a wire, but I'll take Houston. They rebounded better. They're a little better defensively. So I'll take those two things as the difference maker in a matchup against Rutgers.
All right, there we go. Houston moves on. So now we get into the third round here. So we got Baylor against Purdue. We both have this matchup. I have Baylor winning this matchup. Baylor's going to be a team that, even though they had a rough go coming into the tournament, I think the first 2 wins are going to get them, over Hartford, over UNC. They shouldn't have too much of a challenge in either of those teams. That's a good momentum builder for a Purdue team. Baylor shoots the ball very, very well. So I think Baylor's going to come out on this one, outshoot Purdue, even though Purdue's a little bit bigger maybe in size, not by much, but they're a little bit bigger. I think Baylor's going to edge them out here with the shooting aspect. I think Baylor wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Baylor here. I just think they're the more talented squad. They've been far more, when they're playing at their best, they're definitely better than Purdue. If they're doing that, like I know they can, they take care of business there.
All right, next round, next matchup here. Sweet 16. Still in the Sweet 16 here. I have Ohio State beating Arkansas in this game. Actually, no, this is yours, but I'm going to go ahead and start us out.
We don't even have the same opponent, so.
We don't have the same opponent. I'm going to go ahead and pick our Ohio State.
I don't think you realize that Arkansas is in the SEC. Did you know that?
Never mind, I pick Arkansas. No, I'm just kidding. No, as much as I love the SEC, I think this is where Arkansas runs out of gas. Ohio State's really good, man. They rebound, they shoot, they have great defense there. 7th overall in KenPom. I just think that Arkansas will have a tough time hanging with an Ohio State team. Ohio State's played very, very well over the course of the season. I just don't see them losing to a Arkansas team. So I'm going to lean towards taking Ohio State in this matchup. I have them playing Baylor in the next round.
Yeah, Ohio State's a really good offensive team. KenPom has them ranked 4th overall. They're not that great defensively, but which I know I say that a defensive team plays better in the tournament, but I think Ohio State gets the win over a Texas Tech team here. I know I just said what your opponent was, but Texas Tech challenged, battle tested, but give me Ohio State playing in that Big Ten, had a tough conference, playing hot down the stretch, and they can score with the best of them. So give me the hot Ohio State team.
Lauren Seymour and Sherry Von Riesen popping into our Facebook chat. Let us know who your favorite teams are in the tournament. Thank you guys for popping in and checking us out. We are just working our way through the bracket, so let us know who you're rooting for, and we will take a look at who you got and how they stack up. All right, so as far as where we're at in this tournament, we are in still the Sweet 16. We have Illinois and Tennessee. For me, that's who I have in the matchup. You have Illinois and OSU. Since I went first twice, I'll let you go first this time. Hit me with who you got in this matchup. Illinois and OSU.
Yeah, this is the end of the road for Oklahoma State. I think a lot of people want to pick Oklahoma State in this, and they're dangerous. I think them being a 4 seed is pretty ridiculous. They definitely should have been at least a 3 and borderline 2. So they're going to be a tough matchup, but Illinois is playing really good ball like we've talked about before. I like Illinois to take care of business here and get to the Elite 8.
There we go. All right. Have them set up. All right. And I again, picking against the SEC. Am I going to do it?
I don't even think you're allowed to do it.
I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not allowed to do it. But I'm going to. I'm going to pick against the SEC, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Illinois as well. I think, as far as Illinois, man, they're a really good team. And the run that they're on, it's hard for me to pick against them at all. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Illinois. They're solid. Let's move them forward and get them going here. So I got Illinois. go ahead. Let me give me a second here. For some reason, yours isn't updating on our chat, or on our little screen here. But
maybe a sign I should be taking Oklahoma State instead. Am I making a mistake? I feel like I might.
I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe you should just you should pick Oklahoma State. You talk a lot of trash on them, but
can't do it. I can't. I gotta go with Illinois. Is there any way you can pick Illinois for me?
I can't, unfortunately. For some reason, I'm stuck here. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to pick the next one here for myself, and then we're going to just, kind of work through yours, because going through all those again is going to be a little bit aggressive. So,
yeah.
All right. So, for me, I have a West Virginia and Houston matchup here. And this one's a tough one for me because, honestly, I think these are two very good teams. I still lean Houston in this one. I'm going to go ahead and pick Houston. They're going to go ahead and play the Illinois Fighting Illini in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and pick them. Let's lock it in. Houston is where I'm. Now, you have West Virginia and Houston.
I have the same matchup. Man, and I hate to go the same route, but I'm going Houston as well. I think they'll get through. I think they'll beat West Virginia. I'm taking, unfortunately, chalk down there and with 1 playing 2, but I'm just following your lead. Again, I'm gonna buy you a chalkboard after this tournament.
Buy me a chalkboard. That's fine. I'll take it. That's fine.
So much chalk.
Oh my gosh. All right. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to be in the Ohio State Baylor matchup. Now, Ohio State Baylor, this is a tough one for me. I went back and forth in this matchup quite a bit. The fact that Ohio State has been playing as well as they have, they made it to the conference championship. They ended up losing that game. But they played well all up until that point, and they still played strong in that game. Baylor did not necessarily end the the last third of their season very strong. I want to say that they're not going to be up for the challenge for an Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to take this matchup over Baylor. They're going to upset the number 1 as a number 2. It's not a huge upset, but I do think the number 2 is going to take over here. And I got Ohio State winning this game over Baylor. I'm going to take Ohio State.
Pretty big upset there. A 2-1. You did it.
You did it. I had no more chalk for me.
And man, did you make a bad pick. I'm just kidding. But I have the same matchup, even though you can't see it there. I got Baylor versus Ohio State, but I'm taking the Bears. I kind of like what I've been talking about. If Baylor's playing like they can and getting back to what they were good at and what they were doing at the beginning of the season, I think they definitely are the best team in this region and should take care of Ohio State. So I'm going to count on them being able to do that. Scott Drew, I don't love as a coach, but he has had some good turning runs, although I don't think they've ever made a Final Four. So this will be their first berth in the Final Four that I'm aware of. So we'll see what happens there. But I am taking Baylor.
Fair enough. All right. So, Baylor ends up moving on. All right. So, as far as the bottom Midwest part of this bracket, I have Illinois and Houston. Now, this is a tough one for me. Illinois and Houston are, one's ranked 3rd in KenPom, one's ranked 6th in KenPom. They're very, very close. And it's hard for me to distinguish between the two. It was like, I don't know, Illinois, during the 3-game stretch in the late season, Illinois beat Nebraska, Wisconsin, Michigan. The latter by 23 points in Ann Arbor in Michigan. So, Michigan is one of those teams that people were picking early on to win a lot of games in this tournament. Obviously, that was before some of the injuries came into play. But overall, I think that Illinois is, the Big Ten champion. They present talent and depth that can handle any team in the field. Kofi Coburn, 66.4% of his shots inside the arc during Big Ten play, the top mark in the league. The emergence of freshman Andre Curbelo averaged 15.7 points in his last 4 regular season games, has only enhanced his program's potential. I just think that Illinois, they haven't been around. They've come on this year. They've absolutely been on one of the hotter streaks over the course of the end of the season. I can't not take Illinois in this matchup.
Yeah. I think Illinois. Oh, can I say? Is it Ao Desumno? I can't say his name. Kofi Cockburn, Trent Frazier. Those 3 guys kind of lead the squad. Especially those top 2 are two of the probably top 10 players in the Big Ten all season. And Kofi's almost averaging a double-double. Ao's more, he's all over the place. He's 21 points, over 6 boards, and over 5 assists a game. You might call him like a LaMelo Ball of the tournament. Can there be more than one? I'm with you. I'm taking Illinois in that game.
Yeah. No, I think it's tough not to. So as far as this goes, we have an Illinois. At least I do. I have an Illinois-Ohio State matchup here in the Final Four. I'm going Illinois. I think they have a little bit more over the Big Ten rival. So with Ohio State, I think Ohio State is just, I don't know. There's something about being hot at the right time, and Illinois has that. They're moving through the tournament, winning game after game after, what they did in their conference tournament. I just don't see them losing momentum. And I think their energy, their moment, like everyone's projecting them to be in, this Final Four. I think they're hyped up. I think they're going to be going far. I think I got Illinois here, and I feel fairly good about it.
I think I have Illinois Baylor here. Slightly different than you, but
yep.
Same result. I'm going to take Illinois. They've been playing, really, really good basketball, as we've spoke on, and all these other matchups that they've had. Not a lot more I can say about them outside of I like him to beat Baylor in a game where, honestly, could go either way if Baylor's playing like I've talked about. So that's a toss-up to me. I'm taking Illinois because I don't know that Baylor can keep that consistency that they showed during the first 3 quarters of the season prior to their hiatus. So we're ending up with the same national championship game.
Which means all of our points are going to be coming from early on, and whatever we have here is just icing on the cake for one of us.
Unless we take different teams.
That's true. I don't think we're going to take different teams because I think you like Gonzaga just as much as I do. I am going to say Gonzaga is going to be our national champion here. You have 3 of the top potential, what people are saying are the top 3 of the top 10 players of the entire country on one team. Jalen Suggs, Corey Kispert, Drew Timme. Jalen Suggs projected a top 5 pick. Could be the best player on the floor when he wants to be. Kispert, West Coast Conference Player of the Year. 44% of his 3-point attempts. Also projected a lottery pick in the ESPN's latest mock draft. Drew Timme is a number 1 player for 90% of the teams in the country, would be, as far as that goes. Florida transfer Andrew Nembhard leads a strong collection of reserves who helped this team to be to beat Power 5 opponents such as Kansas, West Virginia, and Iowa. Defeated number 1 overall seed. The undefeated number 1 overall seed has a legitimate shot, and I think they're going to take that shot and they're going to win it. Mark Few has never had a team this good, and it shows. I as a Gonzaga fan, I've really been excited about this team, and that's just like me being Andrew Anders in Facebook. Don't sleep on JAIE. Yeah, no. he is one of the better rebounding guards in the country. He absolutely, actually, I think he kind of is more of a forward too. He kind of like goes both ways, but absolutely. I'm a big Gonzaga guy. I'm not a homer because I haven't picked Gonzaga every year like I should as a big Gonzaga guy. This team is different. This team has a chance to take it all, and I think they will. This team's going to beat Illinois, and they're going to win their undefeated season since 1976, Scotty?
Yeah, I believe that is what we said last time. Yeah, Indiana in 1976.
First triple-double in program history, too, from Andrews. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and honestly, I can't pick against my boys. Andrews is a homer, obviously. He says that in his Facebook chat. Appreciate all the commentary there. Love you. Hope you're all doing good out there in Seattle. But yeah, I think Gonzaga is going to win this game. Shout out to Spokane. Shout out to all the Gonzaga folks out on the West Coast. Go Zags. Zags win it all.
So you're taking the Zags, which I had an idea that might happen. So my whole bracket hinges on the Zags not winning it when I pick Illinois right here. So
No.
I'm not actually picking Illinois.
You better not.
I'm taking the Zags. They've just been the best team in the country. Offensively, they are just impossible to guard. Defensively, they're better than most Gonzaga teams. Usually Gonzaga is better on the offensive side of the ball. This defensive team is pretty solid. I believe 10th overall in KenPom, number 1 overall in offense, against an Illinois team that's 7th in offense and 5th in defense. So no joke there. 2 top 10 in both categories. And the only other team to do that is actually Michigan, although Michigan's a little beat up. So this game is going to be a lot of fun to watch, but I think Gonzaga pulls it out. Let's call it, I'd call it maybe like a 6-point win.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, a 6-point win against an Illinois team. I mean, obviously you got free throws potentially.
Yeah, you got free throws.
Yeah, all those different things. But I mean, that's a decent win there. I would say if I'm always scared as a Gonzaga fan. I'm always scared of those final possessions and, you know, those close games. I'd rather a blowout, but you know what? I'll take a close win if it means a championship. First ever in school history if they get it. So that would be fantastic. And not only that, it would be an undefeated season. So there would be a lot of history being made if this happens. So it looks like we both have Gonzaga winning it all. You know, we had different roads to get there, but we both got there, and that's what we're at. So, man, it's gonna be fun. I can't believe we're talking about an NCAA tournament, Scotty. I think that's you know, one of those things that I wasn't expecting to have after last season. But hey, we're here. We're only a couple days away from this, one of the most amazing times of the season, of the year. If you're a sports fan, I don't know if you can be upset that we have what we have coming up here. And man,
right now I'm just annoyed it's not starting tomorrow. It's supposed to start tomorrow. Granted, you have the first 4 game or first 2 games, the first 4 or whatever they're called tomorrow, but tomorrow's Thursday. I'm supposed to be going into work and working very little and watching a lot of college basketball and on my TV in my office, but and then have something else on my computer.
Oh, I guarantee
something else. But
March Madness for me, I have 3 screens. I have a laptop screen, I have a monitor and another monitor. 2 monitors are dedicated to March Madness. 1 is dedicated to work. Sorry if my boss is watching right now. That's just how it is, and that's just how it needs to be. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. So, I don't know. It's one of the best times of the year for me. I can't wait for the next stretch of games. We're going to be covering all of these games over the course of our streams on Wednesdays and Sundays. So, we're gonna be breaking down our bracket. We didn't figure out what our bet was, so we have two options. And let us know in chat what you guys think you guys lean to. Option one, the winner of our brackets based off of what we just picked. If I win, Scotty's got to grow out a beard for what? I think it's got to be at least 3 months.
Ooh.
That's a beard, because he's never grown out a beard longer than what? 3 weeks?
Maybe 4 at the most.
Okay, so 3 months. So that's one option. Number 2, what Deb said in chat, which was, I believe it was, the loser has to buy the winner once a week for a month their dinner of choice. I think it is,
yep.
but it can't be fast food, right? So I think that was what we were looking at there. It was loser has dinner delivered once a week to the winner's choice for a month. So not fast food. So in chat right now, if you're in Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, what do you think is a better bet? Is it the beard shaving because by the way, on the other end of that shaving is I have to shave my beard completely, which my wife, my mother, everyone else,
no one wants to see your face.
No one wants to see this face. Nobody. Yep. So what do you think is the better bet? Let us know in one of the chats, and we can kind of figure out which one is going to be what we're going to go with, whoever gets the better bracket. Keep us posted, and let us know in the next few minutes before we wrap up everything. But this was our special. We went way, way longer than we typically go. It's definitely later, but, it was fun. And we had a lot of time to be able to break this down for you guys, because that was what we were planning on doing. I want to send a big thank you out to Lisa Parker, Sheridan in Facebook chat, RS Parker, everyone who is following along the way. Thank you so much for being a part of the stream. It means a lot to us. We're going to be back here. We're not going to be doing the Friday stream this week. So we're going to be skipping that. We're going to go straight to Sunday. And then from there, we're going to go into, the first part of the bracket, see where we're at, who's winning. And then
at that point, we'll be at least somewhat through the second round.
Absolutely.
Through the second round. So we'll know a lot. We'll see where our brackets are standing at that point.
Absolutely. So we'll give you an update there. We're going to give you your local, teams, what they're doing. Especially the Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and Broncos, because there's a lot of news going on with those guys as well. And we're going to be back here with you here Sunday. So can't wait for it. Thank you for being a part of our big March Madness special. It means a lot to us. And we can't wait to see all of these games kick off this week along with you guys. So hopefully we provided enough insight for you guys to pick your brackets. And hopefully you have Gonzaga winning it all, because, why not? They're the best team in the country, and hopefully they stay that way. So, make sure if you're not following, make sure you're following on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And we can't wait to see you back here in the lab on Sunday. Appreciate all the love you guys, and we will see you soon.
See you guys. Thanks.
Oh, and happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. Hence the green. You had your green beers.